Tribe. Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. I can hear the dogs howling. My co-host, Nina the Mystic. Thank you for being here tonight as we're going to talk about Nikola Tesla tonight. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Did you mute too much?
Did we go on all now? Okay, I'm so sorry.
You're good. Oh, that's all right. The dog was making up the difference there. I don't know if you can hear me.
Okay, I'm hearing an echo here still. What is going on?
Uh-oh.
Okay, this one's muted. That one's muted. And that one is now muted. Sorry. I got 3 screens going up and I got so much stuff going on here. All right. I think we got it figured out now. Sorry, folks.
That's all right. Welcome, everybody. Elderberry's in the house. Let's see. We got Grandpa Brian is in the house. Thank you for coming tonight and being here with us. You know, we can't do anything on here without you guys participating, joining us every time. This is what we do it for because somebody's watching. Apparently, they got some snow. We got snow. Grandpa Brian says they got snow. And there was a 46-car pileup on the interstate. Holy cow, news we didn't get to hear before. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I saw a little brief thing on my feed too, that back east here as well in Canada. They got quite the dump, I guess. So winter's here, folks. Make sure you guys got your winter tires ready and get ready for all that stuff. Yeah, I know your neck of the woods, you got snow too, don't you?
Yeah, I even went outside and plowed snow today with my tractor first time. So that was nice. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
So that worked good?
It can plow a lot of snow. That big tractor I got. So no worries. So it didn't take me long at all, but it was fun to play around with it. So next week I got to change the hydraulic filter and put the little cab thing on. It's like a tarp cab you put on with a little windshield and it shoots heat back at you. Well, we would be really nice because it's so freaking cold. Yeah, but anyway, enough of that. We're gonna get right into it. Hopefully. This is kind of waiting. Oh, there's Lucky Stone is in the house. He says, happy Saturday, everyone. Saturn's Day. Saturn's Day. Big shout out to Lucky, who had a great show Friday night with a Grandpa Brian on there. So if you didn't see that, go on over there and check that out. Good show. Got to join him. You can go see the replay. Anyway. We're going to get right into the show because tonight we're going to talk about Nikola Tesla, of all people. And, this will probably be a 2-part series here because there's just so much information. And Nina, I dug up some stuff that will blow your mind about Tesla. And a little tidbit, hidden gem of a clue. Remember when Tesla died?
Well, right? I wasn't alive yet at that time, but...
Okay, but remember the stories of when Tesla died, and then, well, we talked about this on prior shows, your show actually, when we talked about some of this stuff. And John J. Trump went to Tesla and got his papers. Mm-hmm. Well, did he really?
Oh, that's what I've heard. I don't know. Are you going to disprove this now? Are you going to debunk this?
Yes, I'm going to debunk this tonight. I found a gem of a gem that, yes, John J. Trump did go through his papers, but he was not the first guy in the room. He did not go there and actually get the papers firsthand. Somebody else beat him to it.
Who was that?
I ain't gonna say. You gotta watch the show.
All right.
but yeah, there was a whole, and who was it that was supposed to? I'll just give you this. What organization was supposed to have gone in there to get those papers?
A 3-letter one, I'm assuming?
Yes, a 3-letter
Yeah.
one.
I don't know if you want to mention those on the thing.
Well, you can mention those.
Okay, like CIA, I'm assuming?
Nope, no CIA
FBI?
wasn't invented just yet.
Okay, FBI?
Yeah, not the FBI either.
Okay.
Ooh, the drums.
What else is there?
One you've never heard about, and it's gonna
Okay.
blow your mind. Oh, is it gonna blow your mind? A really secret organization, secreter than the FBI,
Okay.
more powerful and as secret as the CIA, working in front of us for many years prior with more power and influence than any other organization in the government. We've never heard about it. At least I have. Okay, so with that tidbit out of the way, we're stepping into the world that most people never see. A world made of energy, a world made of vibration, a world made of electricity. Nikola Tesla once said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And the more I study the man, and the more I realize something. Tesla didn't just invent things. Tesla saw things. He saw electricity flowing through the earth. He saw light in the air. He saw resonance in the universe. And he saw energy inside the human body. He lit lamps without wires. He created lighting on command. He shocked himself on purpose just to understand how the human body responds to electricity. I got an electric fence for that. He believes the earth was a giant conductor and the planets communicate through vibration. He believed the Great Pyramid of Egypt was not a tomb, but an ancient energy machine. And he said the numbers 3, 6, and 9 were the key to understanding the entire universe. Tesla was a man out of time, born too early, surrounded by people too afraid. They were afraid of what he was trying to give humanity. But tonight, Soul Tribe, we're going to talk about Tesla's real ideas, not the watered down version, not the textbook version. Oh, shoot. Not the version the world tried to hide tonight. We're talking about Tesla's universe. And that's the universe we live in, the electric universe. So, with all of that said, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Tesla? What do you know about Tesla? And then I'm going to fill you in on all the little secrets tonight that you might not know.
Well, that's very cool. Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, as far as I don't know that much about him, but from what I understand, like that man was gaslit so bad. You know, like he had a lot of great ideas, but because, like JP Morgan said, if you can't put a meter on it, we don't want it. And so he was going to give out free electricity to everybody. And I do believe that in the future here, we're going to be going back to that sort of stuff. There's going to be free electricity, I think, and there's going to be a lot of changes. And I think they're going to use Tesla's inventions a lot more coming up in the future here. But unfortunately, it didn't help him at the time. He died all alone in a hotel room, as far as I know, and broke and unrecognized, gaslit. They were probably laughing at him and everything else. And then turns out, oh, he was right all along. So, yeah, good for you if you found some gems that we haven't heard before. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a good one. Anyway, we're going to start out with Tesla. For everybody who doesn't know, about Tesla, we're going to start at the beginning and who Tesla really was. Believe it or not, I did on my research, there was some people who actually thought Tesla was an alien from Venus or some other planet put here on Earth to, change things or something. Could that be? We'll find out soon, won't we? Anyway, Tesla was born during a lightning storm of all things in 1856. His mother was an inventor. His father was a priest. Wow, what a combination. Uh, Tesla himself was something else entirely. He had visions, dreams, precise photographic memory. He could visualize entire machines running in perfect motion in his mind for days at a time before ever touching a tool. He came to America with 4 cents in his pocket, and within a few years, he was changing the world. He worked for Thomas Edison until Edison broke a promise on pay. He partnered with George Westinghouse, a man who believed in Tesla, and helped him build the AC power system that runs our entire modern world. He was friends with Mark Twain. He dined with New York's elite, but he never fit in, as Tesla lived in a different reality than the rest of us. So if you don't know that Tesla, he invented that electricity thing, and he put a power station in New York and lit the first lamps there when nobody said it could be done, and started the first electricity. Thomas Edison, of all people, believed in DC, if you don't know. Little tidbits that you probably didn't know. Thomas Edison wanted to light the whole world with DC power, which we would have had to have a power station every like 5 or 10 miles or something crazy like that. Can you imagine that? They did everything to prove that AC electricity was so terrible and bad, they were shocking animals to death, even an elephant, trying to show how powerful this AC electricity was. But I think that just enforced the power of AC electric, how much it could possibly do. Don't you think?
Yeah, I know. People back in those days, they were scared of electricity. So like the Mormons or the whatever they're called, I can't remember now. They still don't use it.
Oh, the Amish. They are
the Amish. Yeah, they still don't use it. And so there's something to it. From a spiritual point of view, I gotta say, there's something to the electricity. And actually, if you look back into the movies, because they always show you things in the movies, like Superman, when he came, was it Superman? I think it's Superman as well, but also the Terminator. When he comes down in a shot of bolt of lightning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah. I do believe that electricity is a portal into this realm somehow. Yeah. Now, our spirits coming and going all over the place. I don't think so. We're using it. We've been using it for a long time now. It doesn't seem like it's that bad, but there's something to the Amish, like whatever it is that I don't know how they, thought that way or why they thought that way, but there's definitely something to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is true. I mean, even, there's a lot of weird things about electricity and all these modern inventions that we use that we don't really know what they do. They just do stuff, and we just go along with it. Like did you know, and I think it's Japan, they don't use microwaves because that upsets the balance of food. It vibrates the molecule.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Once they knew that it kills the life force of the food, so they don't want to use microwaves.
You're changing the molecules in the food. I mean, I'm trying to tell my son this because he's still using his. I haven't used. Once mine broke, I never replaced mine. I haven't used a microwave in years, but they're still using it over there. Giving it to the kids, and I'm trying to convey, not to do that, but it's so convenient. You see, they don't have time for the kettle to boil. No, that takes too long. So you just stick it in the microwave. And stuff like that. Same with Russia. I also believe that they do not have microwaves in their homes as well. There's a lot of places that don't, and there's a good reason for that. Again, you guys, you got to stop using that stuff. But yeah.
Well, speaking of that, our next thing we're talking about is from Tesla's own writings in the 1890s. Think of it. This going back that far, cars were just just starting to be invented on the roads in 1890s. I mean, I do the Native American myths and legends thing. They'd just gotten the Indians on all the reservations by the 1890s. They finally surrendered. I mean, this is so far back. But anyway, he believed electricity isn't just a force; it's a living phenomenon. He discovered that high frequency energy can pass through the human body without pain, increase circulation, and stimulate healing. He shocked himself regularly to study these effects. He lit bulbs from across the room with no wires. He made sparks leap through the air. He demonstrated that energy could be transmitted without physical contact. This is the foundation of the wireless power, radios, microwaves, and modern EMP healing technology. Tesla found it over 130 years ago. See, like that, he knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't stupid. I mean, he had these things. He had this stuff figured out. Let's see here. I got a picture of some stuff. Did you know he had plasma? He knew he was working with plasma before we even really knew what plasma was. The sun gives off plasma, and we're just discovering that today.
Mm-hmm.
But he made these machines. You've seen this before.
Yeah, I've seen that photo. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because they were working with this stuff, and he had this big machine, and he would say, "Oh, this stuff ain't bad. This, you're not going to get killed from this." And he'd sit in this room and, show that this is not a killing machine, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That they were so fearful of it, that I guess he had to prove by, his own example there that it's, I mean, yeah, no doubt that electricity can be harmful. No doubt there, don't put your finger in the socket, that kind of thing. But there's a time and a place and a way of using it to our benefit, just like fire. I'm sure when they first invented fire, they're like, oh my God, that's bad. That's going to burn down the whole village. This is bad. Well, yes and no. I mean, you got to use it wisely, and use it for our benefits, right? So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you've seen these machines. This here is a Tesla coil. You can usually buy one of those at the toy store. Where it's in like a glass globe, and you put your hand on it, and the electricity touches your hand, and this here blue stuff, or purple stuff, you should say, is plasma. This is plasma. What they're talking about. This is literally plasma. I've wondered for years, what is plasma? This is the plasma they're talking about. It's electricity. It's the waves of electricity. They're all created from this Tesla coil. Here's one of his big Tesla motors, a generator motor that or a powering motor, whichever, that they would use in a factory instead of a big old steam engine. Go figure, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was so ahead of himself, ahead of his time. You see, they weren't quite ready for him yet, and then they were right in the middle of a reset. I believe that everything got reset in the 1800s. And so he came in as like a loose cannon, and he didn't fit in because they had other plans, So yeah, anyways.
Well, yeah. And see, he would do demonstrations, as you can see, showing the power of electricity and how it was safe and how you could use it without getting killed. You know what I mean? So, but he associated with people as this guy here, Alexander Graham Bell. We all know who Alexander Graham Bell is. He invented the telephone or telegraph and a whole bunch of other stuff, records and record players and you name it. And, so he was big into that. So if you don't know who that is, and here's him in his later years showing small examples of how things work. This is Tesla as he got older. You got to remember, he was born in 1856, so
Mm-hmm.
lived a good long time. Let's see. Okay, so what is next? Tesla believed the universe was not empty. He also believed that space is not a vacuum. We're just starting to figure this stuff out now.
Mm-hmm.
He said space is filled with a dynamic electrical medium. Tesla called it the ether. Modern physics call it the quantum field. 0 point energy, I've heard of that. Dark energy, we've heard of that. Same idea, different name. Tesla believed the Earth is a conductor, the sky is a conductor, the ionosphere is a conductor, and electricity flows through the cosmos in massive currents. Before plasma physics existed, Tesla was already describing the electric universe. He said planets communicate through electrical pulses. He believed he detected a signal from Mars. The New York Times even covered it in the 1909 issue, and Tesla was listening to the universe. So, what do you make of that? Was he communicating with aliens?
I don't know about that, but it has come to our attention now with the whole plasma thing that the heavens might be plasma. There's a lot of evidence towards that. So there's something to that, even the stars and stuff that we're seeing, it does look like plasma, but then, I don't think we really know exactly what it is out there. But it seems to me that they were like, all this stuff was supposed to come out, in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And for some reason they squashed it all. They changed the plans, and so I do believe that we are at least 100, if not more, years behind in all this technology. Never mind what Eisenhower got from the aliens and whatever. I mean, that's debatable.
Well, here's the thing I wonder about is, you know how it goes. You come up with a good idea, and then somebody steals it away. And yet Tesla, was he breaking ground for all of this, and then the government secretly continued on with it? No good government program ever dies.
No, that's the thing. I think that's exactly what happened. They gaslit him, laughed at him, whatever, and then once he was gone, though, they sure went ahead and did all this, tried it out for themselves, and I do believe that this stuff is coming out, like in the future, in the new world. Yep. Whatever that means, you know what I mean? I do believe we are going to see all his inventions come to life, and hopefully his name will get rectified, like that they'll do right by him, so
yeah, absolutely. Listen, we'll just take a few little context out of this article. You guys, if you want to see this article or get this, email me and I will email you this article. It's quite long, so I'm not going to read through it all, but let's see what else. What here is civilization rest on the development of mechanical arts. The force of gravitation on Mars is only 2/5 that of Earth. Hence, all mechanical problems must have been much easier of a solution. I still don't know how they know what the gravitation on Mars is, even though they haven't been there. Way back then. This is even more so with the electrical. The planet being much smaller, the contact between individuals and mutual exchange of ideas must have been much quicker. And there are many other reasons why intellectual life should have been on that planet phenomenal in its evolution. And we get down to here, total solar radiation falling on terrestrial areas perpendicular to the rays amount of to 83 feet per pound per square foot per second. Who knows all of this stuff? I mean, I'm reading through this and I barely can understand it myself, but I'm thinking this was 19. Okay, we're going back to the Wayback Machine, 1909. We're living in 2025. These people already knew all the stuff we know today in 1909. How did they do it?
Yeah, I know.
Here he
I
goes.
know.
Giant reflector needed. In view of the small activity, the reflecting surface of at least 250,000 square feet should be provided for the experiment. The area, of course, should be circular and ensure the greatest. He's talking about a satellite dish, a giant one. You know,
I wouldn't be surprised that Elon got a lot of his ideas from Tesla.
well, yeah, that's what I'm just saying is, wasn't it King Solomon said there's nothing on earth that new on earth. It's all been here before, which makes perfect sense because it's like, well, how did Tesla know all this stuff? How did he know about Mars? Look at wireless offers the best plan. In 1909, what, you going to pick up your walkie-talkie and start talking to somebody on your wireless plan? Well, let's read a little bit of this. But is one method of putting ourselves in touch with other planets. Though not easy or of execution, it is simple in principle. A circuit properly designed and arranged is connected with one of the ends to the insulated terminal at some heights. They're talking about a tower with other to the earth. Inductivity linked it is another circuit, an electrical, blah, blah, blah. Basically, he's talking about a tower, putting up a radio tower with 15 million, assuming only a rate of 15 million probably watts, producible or Pickering mirrors. I mean, this is stuff. It is evident then that in my experiments in 1899 and 1900, I've already produced disturbances on Mars incomparably more powerful than could be attained by any light reflectors, however large. This was in 1899 and 1900. So if you ever ask yourself, have we been to Mars? I would say we've already been there. If we haven't been there, somebody already has. Do you not agree?
Well, yeah. I mean, according to the Anunnaki, they were up on Mars. The Gigi were up on Mars doing whatever. I don't know what they were doing up there, and then they came here. They got bored up there. There was no women up there and whatever.
Yeah.
They wanted to come here. They fell, they got fallen angels or whatever. They didn't fall. Obviously, we talked about that last weekend with EA there. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, we've probably been there, I mean, and then you got the whole, Eisenhower, the granddaughter.
Yeah.
She told me, I mean, I've had her on my show, that she was trying to be recruited to go there. And she said, no, she declined.
Yeah.
And so, and I actually, this was a few years ago, but I actually just went into the Google and I Googled, I'm like, how many humans are living up on Mars? And it gave me a number, 150 something, whatever. I'm like, what? I bet you if you do it now, it'll probably say 0. But, back in the day, the internet actually was quite fun. It actually did tell you things, so there probably is people up there right now, but they're not on the surface though. They are underground.
Yeah.
That's something that, so you're not going to see anything by a telescope or anything like that. They're under the ground. So I do believe that there's people up there already, and we've probably been there, but I don't think we traveled there in the tin can that they say that we did. Same with the moon. I think we travel there in a different way, but they're not telling us that because that's too advanced.
Yeah.
For our little pea brain, to understand. So
you're absolutely right, because I went to the museum. I seen the can that they said they went up. I just looked at that and I thought,
it's ridiculous.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Even today to try to pull that off. I mean, and this is part of disclosure. It's all going to come out soon. We've already figured it out. It's just a matter of time for them to put it out there, officially, I guess. Because if it's not on TV, it's not true, so it has to come out of the TV. and in order for the people to believe it. So
That's right.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting times. Yeah.
So we got so what's next? The pyramids of all things. Tesla studied the pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, believe it or not. He believed it was a machine, not a tomb, a machine aligned to true north, built on layers of crystal-rich limestone, placed above underground water systems, constructed with resonance geometry. Um, Tesla used the same proportions in his Wardenclyffe Tower. The structure was supposed to be a broadcast-free energy across the world. He believed the pyramids were ancient amplifiers tapping into Earth's natural frequency. And again, you know, we did this before, and we're doing it again. That's all I can say.
And now it's been proven. So they laughed at him for this back then, you see. But now they just came out not long ago, a couple of months ago, saying that, oh yeah, so underneath the pyramids, it's what looks like a huge battery type of thing. So
Yeah.
it is a generator of some sort of power. That's what it is. It's not a tomb. It's not a, you know, whatever. It's and they're placed in certain places in order to generate that power for, I don't know, portaling out of here, maybe going to Mars. You know, like we said,
Well,
you know, that could be it.
It could be. I mean, here's the thought though. Tesla knew this before they even really dug up the pyramids. Before they you know, found all this information. He just seen was a pyramid, and he figured this out, you know, and we're just finally going, hey, look at what we found.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 100 years or better 130 years later, we're finally figuring, hey, you know, this guy was onto something. And so in the picture here, this is Wardenclyffe Tower. Now, it doesn't look quite that big from this angle. I mean, it does look big. It looks like a big water tower kind of thing. But when you turn the picture page and you go, this is the building from a different angle, this thing is humongous. If you really look at it, how big is this? I mean, it's huge. I mean, considering here's your giant warehouse building. I mean, configuring these doors are probably 8. Say these doors here are 8 foot tall, and that would be to the top of there. That it's got to be 100, you know, 100 feet, 200 feet, 150 feet to the top. I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's hard to kind of tell, but yeah, it's definitely pretty big. Like, did he invent this? Is that what you said?
Yeah, this was Wardenclyffe Tower, and it was supposed to be a radio tower, and so he got funding for this. And well, once he got the funding and he built this thing, and it wasn't a radio tower. He says, "Oh, well, this is back to where you were talking about earlier in the show about putting a price tag on electricity." He says, you know, Westinghouse was like, "Hey, you know, I'm funding you for this radio tower, and now you're telling me it's a tower to give away free electricity to everybody?" No, we haven't put a price tag on that. There's no meter. No. Well, then tear it down. I'm not funding you anymore. And hence, at that point, he moved to Colorado and, you know, started doing his own thing there.
He was kind of a loose cannon back then with all these inventors. You know, like we had the big reset in the 1800s, and he was supposed to be part of it. But I guess he went rogue in a sense that, hey, you know, he wasn't thinking, you know, making money. He wasn't being greedy. He wasn't, you know, like the rest of them. So they shunned him because he wasn't playing ball with them, you see. Edison and all these other people, they were, you know. So they got put into the history books, and Tesla, he just died alone in the hotel room in New York, so
Yeah. So let's go
yeah,
a little bit into this tower thing. Well,
yeah.
this was Tesla's dream, really. Free energy anywhere on Earth, transmitted through the ground and through the air. This was Wardenclyffe Tower. It was not a radio tower. It was a world power station. No, oh, actually, it wasn't Westinghouse. It was J.P. Morgan funded the beginning until he realized Tesla wanted to make free electricity free. Morgan asked, "Where do I put the meter?" And that was the end of Wardenclyffe Tower.
That was the end of that. That's right.
The world wasn't ready for Tesla, that's for sure.
No.
Anyway, so it's kind of sad, but it's kind of true. He wanted to give away this free electricity, and I don't blame him. I mean, I think you're right. Here's why I think you're right. Eventually, this technology will come back, and we'll all get free electricity. Is only because of one thing. What they're doing right now, the data centers. Okay, and what's going to happen is these data centers are going to, I think, they're going to soup all the energy, right? And people aren't going to be able to use electricity if there's rolling blackouts. Well, if there's rolling blackouts, all that electronical stuff that monitors you, watches you, and everything isn't going to have any power. Well, you got to satisfy everybody. You got to have the power station, the data centers going, and you got to have the people. I mean, if the electricity goes too high, people are just going to turn it off. I can't afford.
Not only that, but if we don't have power, we're not going to be able to get to work and make money for these people. Right? Yeah. We'll be completely lost then. And so that's not going to benefit them. They have to give us some kind of power so that our businesses can be up and we can, shower and do all the things that we need to do. Because otherwise, if we don't have these certain things, we're not going to make it to work. We're not going to be productive members of society. So that's in their best interest. And, there's power in the ether, like he said. I mean, you've seen the experiment with the potato. There's a lot of power in that potato. That potato can light up a light bulb. We are a battery. We're full of energy. There's no reason why we should have to do it the way we've done it. And I always thought that way as well. Even the power lines, it's so ugly. They were like in a rush back then to get this up for some reason. And this is how I was thinking. Now I'm looking back. I'm like, oh yeah, they were in a rush because they needed to get this television into our house for one. And then they needed to get the World Wide Web, the web us in, you see. And this is why it got rushed and it just looks so ugly. And but the good news is that it's all going to get torn down. We're no longer in the future, the new future that's coming. We're no longer going to see any power lines and all this ugliness that we're seeing now. And we probably are just going to tap into whatever, right, in order to power up our things, in order for us to be a productive member of society. So,
well, they've already been showing us about the electricity, where you can take your phone and just place it on something without plugging it in, or there's these houses where you can have your stuff in the house and it runs without plugging it in. They're doing it on a small scale, and eventually I think there will be a bigger scale. But I think eventually they have to do something. Like you said, we won't be able to go to work, do all our things that we normally do because it's we need the electric. We're used to it. Of course, well, if I can't do stuff, I'm going to unplug my devices. This computer won't be running. My phone won't be running. My light bulbs won't be on because I'll need to save that power because I can't afford it. I'll just sit here in the dark and use candles. I can do without it. We still have that stuff. I don't need an electric stove. I'll just have a gas stove.
Yeah, I mean, we could go back to the old ways. I mean, some people maybe will. Although I think moving forward, there's going to be new things. New and exciting things coming. It's like the whole airline industry. And I thought too, why is it that we're not upgrading our airlines? Like we're building all these rockets. We got all this. Well, why is it that we're still flying in the same tin can as my grandparents were flying in? Well, that's because they don't want to spend the money right now on upgrading everything because the new stuff is about to come out.
Yep.
the planes are in fact, and I wouldn't advise going traveling right now because these planes are so old. They're literally falling out of the sky right now. I highly advise against any of that. And you'll see the crackdown now on why you can't go flying. These are all excuses because they don't want you flying right now, because then you'll see how bad it is. And then you'll start to think, oh, why is it that we're not? And then, you'll start to figure things out. But yeah, so there is exciting news coming, though. There's a lot of exciting things coming. A lot of it probably is from Tesla, honestly. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally agree. But it's coming. We just have to be patient and wait. They ain't gonna give us anything without having a giant.
Unfortunately, there's going to be some sort of event though first before we get all the new, and that's the scary part of it all.
Well, they got it all.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But
let's go into the more spiritual side. Tesla once said, if you knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have the keys to the universe. Was he talking numerology? Was he talking physics, resonance, harmonics, vibration, and vortex mathematics? 3, 6, 9 sits outside the repeating number pattern.
If we are in a matrix here, everything runs on mathematics. It's all numbers. So, and that's what he's tapping into, you see, and he's starting to figure out, and he didn't even know what that was. He had never even seen a computer yet. He had no idea about the zeros and ones and all of this kind of stuff. Like, he's trying to explain to us what he's seeing. So he's getting visions, he's getting downloads. He's obviously in touch with whatever beings, who knows what beings those are. But so exciting.
There was apparently they were to represent 3 creation, 6 flow, and 9 completion.
Yeah.
That
kind of goes in the tarot as well. Yeah, it's all the same. Yeah.
Let's see. So anyway, we're gonna crash right on through. But before we do, we're about halfway through, and we're gonna put this up. Hey, what do you got going there? Free sticker pack?
Of course, it is Black Friday weekend, I guess. You got the Cyber Monday coming up as well. And so I can't offer any discounts in my merch store. However, I can offer a free sticker pack, of course, that I've had for a while now. And if you order it between now and the end of the year, I will send you a sticker pack in a holiday card. So I can send you a Christmas card, essentially, with the sticker pack in it, if you order here within this year. And, of course, we got, the holiday merch in there, which is going to be just a limited time. Obviously, that's only for the holidays here, and that is for all 3 channels. I don't know if you can tell here, but we got all 3 names on there, and we got the year and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great little keepsake. But of course, we got Robert has his own merch in here.
Yeah, I got stickers, and I got mugs, and I got T-shirts, and all kinds of good stuff. Get yours now. These mugs are really nice. You get one of these.
Yeah, so I upped the mugs. They're all 15 ounce now instead of the 11. So for me, that's a perfect size because I like just having that 1 cup in the morning, but the smaller cup just isn't big enough. You know what I mean? So this one's perfect. I can still say I'm drinking 1 cup, but really it's 2. You know what I mean? It's perfect. I don't have to get out for a refill. I still have it here. This is the only cup that I'm using now, to be honest with you. So we got mugs, we got shirts. This is a great time to either stock up for winter or, give out as gifts, obviously, right? We got Beyond the Truth, which is our Rumble. And I've been thinking of maybe even rebranding my YouTube again and just going with that. I'm thinking of, I don't know, I'm in between stage right now. It's kind of weird. But anyways, and then you got your Milky Way, of course, the original logo there.
Yeah.
in a whole collection of all kinds of things. It's a great way to support the channels, because you walking around with our merch is gonna, people are gonna ask questions. What is that? Maybe they'll go on sub. We got R. Wayne Steiger. I got 4 different logos in here from him. His latest one is this one here. I don't know if you've heard him say that too much, but it's his newest one, which is ignorance is self-inflicted disease easily cured by knowledge. So that's actually his latest quote, and you can find it in my store. But of course, you also have, the Bosto, and let's see, Be Kind to Your Mind. That's kind of fairly new as well, but it's the one that he kind of refers to a lot lately. And it's all his stuff there. So if you want to support our channels, it's a great way to do it. And also stock up for yourself. I mean, everybody needs clothes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We have to be wearing something. So why go and support Walmart and Amazons and all these things when you could be supporting your favorite YouTuber? And then, of course, we got Beyond the Corona, of course, in all the different things. So, yeah, go and check it out, guys. And then, of course, I also have the white light. The spray is also 50% off. Okay, ends on Tuesday. This is a once a year maybe that I'll put it on for that price, because I'm honestly not even making any money at this point now, because the ingredients do cost me a lot of money, and then all the packaging and blah blah blah. So it's not about making the money right now. It's more about being able to get it out there so you can try it out if you've never tried it, or for those who have bought it in the past, great time to stock up now. So email me, okay? So whether you want a sticker pack or you want the white light, just email me and we'll go from there, guys. Okay? All the links are down below in the description of the video that you're watching right now.
Awesome. Good deal. Good deal. Go get your shirt. I got mine. This is the old one with my face on it.
Yeah, that's an old one. You can't get that now. That's the thing. It's a collector's. You'll never find that shirt again. So there you go. And here's the holiday mug.
Oh, yeah. Holiday mug. That's right. You can get these cool holiday stickers. You got the holiday sticker. And then you can put them on your Christmas cards and stuff,
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little keepsake, right? Something different that you can't find anywhere else. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So, okay, good with that. We did our promotion. So now we're off to the night Tesla died. Tesla died alone. In New York, this is where the juicy stuff gets out.
Okay.
He died alone in the New York hotel. It was a Hotel New Yorker in 1943. Within hours. This is where it comes in. The Office of Alien Property. Have you ever heard of that?
Alien Property.
The Office of Alien Property was ordered to seize everything he owned.
Oh, what is this alien property? What is this? This is new. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay, so that's what I said. The Office of Alien Property was ordered to seize everything he owned. Leo T. Crowley, we never heard of that guy, ran that office. Agents boxed up Tesla's papers, inventions, notes, and phototypes. The FBI monitored. The War Department watched, and Dr. John G. Trump, Donald Trump's uncle, was assigned to examine Tesla's most sensitive papers. To this day, many documents are missing, and no one knows what was taken or what was destroyed.
Most sensitive papers. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So I know. Give me a second. I'm going to go back and try to find these notes. Okay. And I'm going to tell you all about this Office of Alien Property because I didn't even know it existed. I had to do a deep dive on this because have you ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, so
well, that's interesting because this is back in 43, and you got to remember that this is around the same time as Eisenhower apparently made a deal with the ETs, right? We got technology. I don't know how that worked with the whole Tesla thing. You know what I mean? Like, were they trying to outdo Tesla, or maybe the stuff came from Tesla? They just said it was aliens. Who knows? I mean, the conspiracies could, be going whichever direction here. So,
Well, and that's let's see. Okay, I'm at the spot now. We'll just keep talking for a minute because I'm trying to find this. You're gonna really enjoy. I did a deep dive on Crowley, and I did the deep dive on this office.
so it's the most sensitive paper. So we, suspect that the Trumps, right, found the stuff where he talks about time travel. I know we've mentioned this in our videos in the past. It does seem like Trump has some sort of ability to time travel. It's just impossible. Even the Simpsons show, it's impossible down to the paper falling. I mean, come on. It's just no way. They know something that the rest of us don't. And I do believe that comes right back to what we're just talking about tonight, about the papers that Uncle John found and probably took photocopies of or whatever and kept it for himself.
The question is, he didn't really actually find, this is what I'm finding out. He didn't really actually find them. This is where we get to the office. I got it now. So it's the office. It's the OAPC, the Office of Alien Property Custodian. And yes, it was a real government agency. And that was one of those.
So what is alien? They're not meaning like ETs here. They're just something foreign.
It was created to seize, guard, and manage, sell, or lock away property belonging to foreigners, suspected foreign sympathizer. It was created during World War I and II. It was operated under extremes. It gets better. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It was under extreme secrecy in many cases. It answered to none other than the President of the United States, the Department of Justice, and the War Powers Act during World War II. During wartime, this office had extraordinary powers. It was created in 1917 under the Trading with the Enemy Act, which makes no sense. Reactivated in World War II, active, and they don't reactivate. It was always going, that. Just like we're going to deactivate that, and then we're going to reactivate it again. Active, it was even active around 1946. What did it do? It could seize, OPAC could legally seize safety deposit boxes, confiscate patents. Well, what do you think Tesla had? Take over companies, seal hotel rooms, take property or documents, handle dangerous or sensitive foreign assets. Pretty wild.
And they didn't want anybody to find his stuff because they might recreate it and they'll lose control. They'll lose control of it.
Exactly. Yeah. This office had more authority than the FBI. Why was it involved with Tesla? Tesla died in 1943 and was technically, they said, this is how they justified it, a Yugoslavian citizen, not a U.S. citizen, even though he lived in America for decades. This made his property enemy alien property. Really? Oh, come on. He was working for the U.S. government. So anyway.
Well, everybody's an immigrant here. We all come from somewhere else.
That's right. So that makes no sense at all.
Man. Yeah.
So during Tesla, the OPEC moved in first. They physically seized Tesla's trunks and papers. Okay, now they have them. They transported them to a secure storage location, and they cataloged and held the items. This is what I was saying before. We've been misled. After that, the FBI reviewed what was taken, whatever I suppose they gave them. The Army Intelligence requested access, and John G. Trump, an MIT scientist, analyzed the technical documents. So do you really think that they let John G. Trump analyze all of it or selected items?
Probably selected items, yeah.
Yes. But the people who physically walked into Tesla's room belonged to OPEC. And they were custodial agents of Tesla's stuff.
They
Okay.
probably didn't. They probably didn't think that time travel was too important. You can't really make money on that, or so they thought back then. So they probably just let Trump see that stuff. Who cares about that?
Yeah, but even so, they just let him see a little bit,
Yeah.
just a little bit, and we're going to keep the good stuff, and you can have all these papers. We went
Mhm.
through it. We went through it all, and here's some of this stuff, and have fun with it now. And we're going to give the rest of the government, these agencies, the more information and power gives them power to operate. You
Of
know,
course.
did
Yeah.
my question is, did OPEC turn into the Men in Black? I mean, it probably
That
would.
sounds like it. It kind of sounds like that. Yeah. They just got a different rebranding,
Yeah,
rename it, yeah, it's exactly what it, and I wouldn't be surprised that they have those pen type like things to erase your memory. I
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised, like they actually have that. I'm sure they do, and that's probably been
exactly.
done to quite a few of us, I'm sure.
So who was head of
Yeah.
all this? A guy named Leo T. Crowley. He was a custodian of alien property from 1942 to 1946 under the appointment under Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was a powerful Washington operator who oversaw asset seizures, patent confiscations, enemy property investigations, wartime intelligence and coordination. Crowley supervised the team that seized Tesla's belongings. We've never heard of this guy. At least I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
What about him? Crowley. Let's see who.
He's
Let's
not in relations to the other Crowley guy, is he? No.
that I did a deep dive on that too, and no, he
No.
he is not. I thought I had a picture of this Crowley guy. Maybe I don't. No, he is not any relations of the other Crowleys. I did a deep search on it,
Okay.
but the name Crowley did come up, and it means something. It's something I got it in my notes here, and you'll find that very interesting too because it's a Irish name. It's an Irish name.
Yeah, well, I know he came from, back over there
So
in Europe. Yeah.
yeah.
The UK,
Um,
something. Yeah.
so who was this Crowley guy? FDR trusted him immensely. He had connections with the FBI, DOJ, and wartime intelligence. He controlled billions of dollars in seized property. Now remember, back in those days, $1 billion would have been more money than anybody could think about because remember people
Yeah.
didn't have gas was a nickel or a quarter or something. Later he became head of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. I've never heard of that either, but I'm sure it exists. Was politically protected and rarely challenged. So he's untouchable basically. He's almost unknown to the public today. He operated behind the scenes, exactly the kind of man who would control something like Tesla Papers. Why have you never heard of this? OPEC was supposedly temporary. It worked in secrecy. Its operations were wartime classified. It didn't get the same public attention as the FBI and CIA because, we already know the FBI. They're the front men. And after World War II, it was supposedly dissolved quietly. But if you're dealing with billions of dollars and all this secret stuff, I don't believe it ever got dissolved. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it turned. I think the Men in Black are these guys.
Yeah,
That's my
I think that stuff got kept somewhere safe until they need it again. It's like when the government all of a sudden comes out and says that, oh, I'm sorry, but we lost $43 billion. I'm sorry. I mean, there's been several times now that they've come out and admitted that they've lost a bunch of money. Well, I believe that that money is going into all these secret things. You see, it's not on the books, so they can't quite. They don't have receipts for it. And
Mm-hmm.
so like the space programs or this program, or they probably got all kinds of freaking programs that we don't even know about. Because I mean, let's face it, if it's really secret, would we be talking about it then? You know what I mean? Like it's not really
Yeah.
hidden. So there's all kinds of things going on that they have that they're missing money is going to, so
Yeah. So it says it said that this was one of the biggest ghost agencies in U.S. history. You can't tell me that the biggest ghost agency in U.S. history just dissolved itself into oblivion. You can't pull that wool over my eyes. That's
No, it is
bullshit.
called something else now. It's called
Yeah,
rebranding. Yeah.
exactly. Maybe it turned into something else, but we don't even know who it was.
Well, yeah, because the war was over now. So all of the bullshit excuses for the wartime stuff, that's gone now, you see. So now we got to come up with a different name and a different reason why we have this, you see. So, yeah.
Yeah.
CIA,
So
I mean, yeah, maybe that's when the CIA came in. It just named it a different thing. That's all.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, exactly. Who is this Crowley guy? Leas Thomas Crowley. He was born August 15th, 1899, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, of all places. He died April 15th, 1972, in Chevy Chase, Maryland, at the age of 82 years old. He was an American banker, businessman, government official who rose to enormous power during Franklin D. Roosevelt's administration. He was born to Irish Catholic parents in Milwaukee. His father was Thomas Crowley. His mother was Catherine O'Leary Crowley, married Margaret Madeline Ring, and then he had at least one child, a daughter. We don't know who she is. He grew up in a politically active Irish American community. His family was not elite. Crowley was his own power. He is not related to any of the other Crowleys, as far as I could tell. Nothing. Before, how was he brought up the ladder? He was helped reorganizing failing banks. He gained national reputation as a fixer. And then FDR noticed him, and he got pulled into Washington. So that's how he got there.
That's kind of like Epstein. He
Yeah,
was very good with fixing things as well, and that's why the elites liked him so much, apparently, from what I hear. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, they got the, you get me thinking on all of this. And when you sit down with it, it's like, didn't during World War II, the Germans supposedly have all those, flying spaceship aircraft things, and they just mysteriously disappear, and people said they were there, and now you can see pictures of them on the internet every now and then, but
Yeah, well, wasn't that 1952? There was several crafts hovering over the White House, and there's photos of it.
Yep.
They didn't have Photoshop back then. So,
No.
so yeah, why aren't we talking about this? Like, why, you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, no, we're so behind on everything, and that's unfortunate. And so the big reveal or whatever it is that you want to, all it is just getting the information that was withheld. That's what we're getting. That's what this whole thing is all about. Is how can they sneak it in here, just a little drip here and a little drip there. They can't, bombard us with it because it'll be too overwhelmed. So they got to throw a little bit here, a little bit there. It's pretty much, and now it's getting to, so it's kind of like the toilet roll, the closer you get to the end, the faster it seems to go. Well, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're right at the end of it, and time seems to be speeding up. The information is just coming out, and I noticed even myself, like, it's just getting a bit overwhelming. Like, even though I've been awake for 10 years or more, actually, it's still overwhelming when it comes out. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't even imagine if I was completely asleep right now and all of this stuff was coming out, I would go nuts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, literally, like, yeah. So, yeah, there's so much. I've been noticing lately, they're talking a lot about the bells, the bells that they took away from Tartaria bells or whatever you want to call it. But, it was frequency in these bells. And this is what Tesla was trying to explain to us. We can get healing. We can get everything through frequency and all this kind of stuff. And these bells is what they were doing. It's a spiritual thing. Yes, it does actually ward off spirits, bad spirits, and that's why we use bells. If you look at witchcraft, you always have tons of bells, all kinds of bells that you're ding-a-linging all the time, because it does repel certain spirits, and then you got the frequency thing. It changes your frequency around you, your whole, like, so yeah, and they've tried to take that away, you see. And so yeah, so I hope that his stuff comes out. I'm sure it will. I know it will. It is going to come out. So it's too
Yep.
bad that he doesn't have any kids or anybody that could benefit from it now. It's almost like Ike. I look at David Ike. He's just back up on YouTube again now, and I see his sons are very involved in everything that he does. But you got to remember that he was ridiculed so badly in the 90s and the early 2000s. His kids must have been just besides themselves, to grow up like that, right? But look at him now. It's really too bad that Tesla never really got that when he was alive. But even if he had kids, family, that they could have now, see that, hey, guess what? Your family member was right. And he wasn't crazy, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So what is now we're talking about Crowley, and we know there's a lot of Crowleys out there. There's famous Crowleys that we all know: Patrick Crowley, U.S. intelligence guy; John Crowley, intelligence guy. There's Aleister Crowley. All of these Crowleys. What is the one common thing they have in common?
Well, they're from the UK.
Yes. The Crowley is a very common Irish name, meaning descendant of Cruda Collie, I guess, a Cruda Collie, I guess, or hard. The meaning is hard hero and fierce warrior. Eventually, they were widespread in Ireland. They came to Boston, Chicago, New York, Wisconsin, and but the U.S. intelligence community, there's a lot of Irish Catholics that worked in intelligence. By coincidence or not, I don't know. But the meaning of that name, hard hero, fierce warrior, that's got to mean something, regardless if you're related.
It's interesting. Yeah, there is meaning behind our names. We don't think of it too much. It just gets passed down and whatever. But yeah, who came up with that name? Like, at least with the natives, you can kind of, it's very easy to see what they were naming it things after. But for us, not so much. We got to go back and research, where our names come from. So. But when I hear Crowley, to me, it just reminds me of the character from Supernatural. He was one of my favorite characters in there, Crowley. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of stuff I didn't touch on. Yeah, a lot of books. I got several books and things we could go with. And like I said, lots of stuff about Tesla. I just skimmed over a lot of the things, but I thought that one was one of the coolest things that we didn't know. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that is cool to know, because things just spread around the internet so fast. You hear it once, twice, next thing you know, it must be true. It must be fact, and I'm guilty of it myself, because you know what I mean. So that is good that you're going in there and doing a little research and finding some things. It's yeah.
Well, yeah, because what do we always say? Well, I mean, if you just start putting it in your head to go, oh yeah, the FBI came and got his stuff and blah blah blah, and Donald J. Trump walked up this flight of steps and seen all his things there and sat there with a microscope or a thing and not a magnifying glass, looking through all his papers and reading all his documents. No, that didn't happen. Some other agency grabbed it all and then gave what they didn't want to the FBI.
Yeah. Well, it does. That makes more sense, because if it wasn't, if Don or what's his name, Trump there, walked in there and took it all, that would then tell you that what kind of power does he have? You know what I mean? And obviously the Trump family, especially back then, didn't have that much power. Yeah. Like his dad only owned a few buildings. Like, he wasn't that rich. not that rich, not like he's become now. But if you had some technology of time travel, it would make a lot of sense. That would be the only way, really, that you would get that kind of rich. Imagine if we can go back in time now and do it, you know what I mean? And do all the things and invest in all the right things and just, play the game, so they're not playing the game fair. That's unfortunate.
But then again, did this group, did they hold on to the time travel stuff? And did they get, just like these politicians get into office and then they go in as a bartender. I ain't gonna say names, but they go in as a bartender and come out as a millionaire. And they still don't know what what do you call it? A food thing, in the bottom of your sink is, and and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is our politician, and then all of a sudden they become millionaires. And they don't know that when you get people on an island that it doesn't tip over or something stupid like that. And you're wondering.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of that is just pure corruption.
Well, exactly. So who's to say that this company or this organization didn't? This is how I would imagine it would happen. Is the organization used that time travel and decided that Trump has got to get rich and then he can become president, and then, funneled information to him that benefited him in one way or another. Same with the other guys. And, they created the future that we have today because they had the time travel.
Well, yeah, so that could go either way. Either they was working with Trump, maybe he was on board. Like, you got to be part of the club, right? And you got to be on board. And yeah, I can see them working together on it. Or if he wasn't on board, he just happened to be some doctor that maybe they needed a doctor for some. Back in those days, signatures and stuff, I remember passport, all these kind of signatures, you had to be a doctor, right? Or a lawyer to sign. So maybe they needed a doctor there for whatever legal reasons. And if he wasn't on board with them, it could have just been a coincidence that he found something that they didn't think was important at the time, because they probably had something else in mind, because they wanted to really hone in on this electricity, put a meter on it. That's really what they really wanted to find, right? So time travel, what nonsense is this, right?
Well, no. This is 1943. We already got electricity. They are working towards time travel.
I'm just saying, like, who knows what was going through their mind? Did he accidentally get some information that he was able to then go into the time travel things, or were they working together? I mean, like, that's a big question. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. No, I mean,
we do know that. Well, I shouldn't say we do know. It's still a conspiracy until we know for sure. But it's just, to me, there's just no way. There's no way. I mean, you look at we've done shows on this before about all the things, Baron. I mean, it's just, it's just too many things. And, yeah, and it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Why is it that certain people are just able to, and Trump's not that smart. Like, he's a dumb as a, and so he's not even that great of a business person. Like, he's gone bankrupt more times than I can count. Like, so, yeah, no, there's something else at play here that we are not privy to. And, if we we could have played this game a lot different as well. So.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, it's it kind of makes you start wondering now who is really in charge. Because I think that's what a lot of people wonder all the time is who's really in charge, who's running this place. Well, guess what? Maybe these guys are running the place.
Well, they are definitely part of it. I mean, you can't even call them people, I don't think, because I don't think they're humans. I don't think humans are in charge of this planet. There's some other beings, right? Anunnaki or whatever, whatever you want to call it, are actually still in charge. And we're going to be actually doing a video tomorrow night where we're going to go into a little bit more about this, about the whole flat earth, round flat earth. Let's talk about it, about what I think. And we're going to be going into some of this stuff tomorrow. Who's really in charge, and where they are, and what's happening, and what's been going on. And but this agency, though, they're a stepping stone, right? Our government they're far away from there. They're just, puppets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're who get told. But and then you got your CIA and your FBI, and then you got like more secret. Because if it's secret, we wouldn't know the name. It's just like we don't know the name of God. I mean, you know what I mean? We don't know the names. And so whoever the string masters are,
well,
we don't know those names. Yeah,
like it said that this agency was around. It's just kind of ironic that this agency was around in 1917, and then it supposedly disbanded in 46. Oh, just a year before Roswell, and just a few years before space alien stuff and UFOs and all of these other things started happening. Doesn't it just seem a little coincidental? And
unless it was only the only purpose of it was for the war stuff. And then once the war was over, we don't need it. I mean, you know what I mean? So alien, what did they talk? Alien, as in they were talking like immigrants? Is that what they were referring
that's what the information alluded to. But then it just makes me say, I call bullshit. Because
in that case, hasn't ICE kind of taken over that then, with the whole immigration thing?
Yeah.
But as far as aliens go, when we say aliens nowadays, we're thinking, from somewhere else, right? So,
but that's the whole point. Back then, you really, if you go back in that time era, aliens, everybody in America was pretty much an alien, because back in the early 1900s, everybody that came here was from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that would literally cover
what the country's founded on.
I didn't live back then, but I wonder what they really called people back in. Did they? Oh, you're an alien? Oh, did they even use that?
Not from around here. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I guess that's where we got that name from in the first place.
Is it? I mean,
I guess. I don't know. I wasn't around back then.
That's the whole point. I would assume that they would call them immigrants, because that's what I've seen in all the books.
I think that's more of a politically correct word that we've been using as of lately. I think immigrant. It's a nicer word. You see, we've been back in the day. We used a lot of nasty words for a lot of things.
Yeah, but I'm saying is the old books that I read. They called them, immigrants, but they didn't call them. Oh, look at all the aliens coming over here. I've never seen that word in any of my history.
Yeah, I haven't really either. But then again, I've only been here 35 years, so.
Yeah, see, which just makes it even more hard to swallow when it's the Office of Alien Investigation or whatever it is, because I'm thinking, this alien is more of a modern term. It's kind of like if you went back 500 years and talked about dinosaurs, there was no dinosaur word. Mm-hmm. They would have been dragon or lizard or, reptile beast of some sort. There was no dinosaur.
Well, maybe that's where the whole reptile thing comes from. Because they do refer to a lot of reptile in the religious texts. And you do see statues all over the place. So were they referring to the dinosaur? Now we're going off a whole nother.
The thing is dinosaurs only, the word dinosaur only originated probably in the late 1800s. But I'm saying the same with alien. That's like saying there's little green men from Mars here, and you're telling a guy, George Washington, hey, aliens from Mars are coming. He wouldn't know what you're talking about. He barely probably even know where Mars is or what it looks like.
It's so funny how things got hushed up. Because I just said earlier in the show, weren't there several crafts hovering over the White House when we got photos of it? Why is it that we're not talking about this?
Yeah, I know.
That's a big deal. we're not waiting for disclosure. That's already been disclosed back in the
Mhm.
50s. So, yeah, but yeah, very
Yeah.
interesting about
No,
Tesla, yeah. That's
well, I'm going to have to dig into the alien thing a little more, but I do believe they didn't use the term alien back in 1917. I do not
so maybe they are
believe.
referring to like aliens.
Yeah, but see, that could cover a wide variety of things,
Yeah, it could, couldn't it?
and
Yeah.
therefore it covers up the agency's name. And if people questioned it, maybe they did, and then they said, hey, you know, like in 1947, now here the little green men are showing up and the spaceships and all this other stuff. They would have had to change. Maybe they didn't disband; they just changed their name to a different thing, because now it would have been like, well, what did they have? There was an Operation Blue Book, that remember that, and that was all about, uh, you know, checking out alien ships and people and sightings and everything. And for years and years they did that. And but that could have been the morphing of this operation. This the agency did billions of dollars worth of stuff back in the day when millions were a big number.
Yeah, I know. Makes you wonder, eh? Like, what the hell are they spending the money on? Yeah, there's
Yeah,
been a lot of shenanigans been going on for a long time, and it's starting to come out now, and
like I said,
so.
there's little clues checked
Mhm.
into everything.
And
And
actually, you know what? As an immigrant myself, I got to question this now. Just because we're an immigrant, does that give this agency title to just come in and raid my place and go through everything just because I'm an immigrant?
apparently,
Because
according
that
to
was never told to us. I don't know if I would have come in to be honest with you, if they told you that. That yeah, this for the rest of your life now, as long as you live here, that we have a right to come in and check everything and do whatever whenever we want to. I don't think
yeah,
I would have come here, to be honest, if
yeah,
I'd have been told that.
yeah, nobody would want to. Hey, at any
No,
given time,
well, let's get the
the
fuck out of here. Yeah, no, that's not right. I got
yeah,
some strong words for that I
yeah.
won't say here.
Well, but that's the thing, is Tesla came here to the United States, early in his life, and therefore, um, especially came back in the day when everybody was an immigrant. You
And I
know,
was going to say, so did Trump's wife, by the way. Two of them. Okay, two out of the three were both immigrants here. So, does that mean we can just go and raid the first lady then and go through all her private stuff because she's an immigrant? Is that what you said? You know what I mean? Like, so that's very interesting. Now, I'm wondering if there is such a thing still, because that then Trump would take advantage of that.
well, see, and that's where I think they divided. I think this agency was labeled right in the beginning, and I think they changed their name, and now we have other agencies that do this kind of stuff. Like, we believe that the FBI would have done this. We've been believing that for years, but once I discovered this new agency, I realized that, oh, why were they doing it to Tesla? Then the question is like I said in the beginning of the show, we're circling back here. In the beginning of the show, I said, was Tesla really an alien? Did he get information from aliens? Then why would the agency for alien whatever,
Aliens, right?
come
Well,
after him? See, it all starts making
that
sense.
actually is very interesting because apparently they are living among us.
Yeah, and
And so why is it that one guy's got all this information all of a sudden? You know what I mean? Like that does seem a little weird unless he came here with that
he,
information already.
again, he was super smart, had a photographic memory. He could do things that other people couldn't.
That's what
Like
I'm
one of
saying.
the
So
buildings had.
like where does this come from? Right. So,
Yeah.
not to say that every smart person out there is an alien, but it makes you wonder that there's probably a lot of them among us, that just seem a little smarter than the rest of it, and so so that's quite possible that
Yeah.
they
So
knew that he was, and and was probably hoping that, hey, he's going to vent all these things, and we're going to, put a meter on it and all this, and then when he turned around and said, oh no, we're going to give free electricity to everybody. It's like Oprah, electricity for you, electricity for you, electricity for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the
No,
Oprah of the day, but they didn't want anything to do with that. No, there's no profit in that.
yeah.
So
like I said, there's more to this. I'm gonna have to dig it in, and check it all out.
It's very interesting.
I thought that was interesting, and it makes sense, but it also, I think, covers up a lot of stuff. If this was just a government agency to watch over, aliens,
Immigrants, like
alien immigrants,
right?
yes. How did they end up dealing with billions of dollars? See, that doesn't fit.
And why would you like as an immigrant, you got to be vetted, right? You got to be vetted. You got to, it's not just anybody. I guess I don't know what's going on with this open border thing, but back in the day, okay, which was not that long ago, you have to be vetted. You have to have a certain amount of money to come in here. Like they don't want you in the country if you're going to be a burden on them, obviously. So why would you have some agency to oversee them if they're already perfect as it is? They've already been, they're probably the best, citizens that you have, or be
especially after they die, and then you need to go and get all their stuff. Be like you passing away, and then they come into your house. And
what they're alluding to is that these immigrants have some sort of criminal mind.
Yeah.
So they were insane, or things like that. But you wouldn't let them in the country in the first place if they were like that. You vetted them already, right? So what I'm saying is that maybe the second theory is more the real one than the first one.
Well, the thing is too is you got Tesla, who worked for the government. I bet you he had security clearance up the wazoo.
Exactly. So why would they have to monitor him and have this agency spending billions of dollars on some agency monitoring perfectly good citizens? Like that doesn't make sense. Yeah. But if they're aliens, well, that's a whole another thing now. And
then it still boils down to the money. Follow the money. Where did all this billions of dollars go? They have more money than the U.S. government, at the time. Right. So it still makes you say, okay, you got a bunch of aliens and they can lock down your hotel room, take your stuff, etc., do these things, or take patents and whatever. Where do they get this billions of dollars? Billions of dollars. I don't know. Your guess is good mine. I'm going to have to dig into it more, unless the men in black are knocking at my door soon. So.
Yeah, well, it kind of explains where all these billions of dollars that they're losing all the time is going, you see. So that kind of makes sense, right? That's where the money's going. So
could be.
Yeah.
So anyway, with all of that, we're going to wrap it up. I'll see you tomorrow on your channel as we talk about the Earth and being flat as a pancake.
Is it round or is it flat, everybody? Join in tomorrow night. Let us know what you think.
That's right. Remember, everybody, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you were nice to your neighbor. Hope you got some of that turkey or whatever you were having for dinner. So made some time with some good friends and family. That's what it's all about, giving thanks for what you have, this good life that we live. It may seem shitty, but I'm sure there's people out there that have a very shittier life than you do. So with all of that, remember to go out there and be the frequency you want to receive, everybody. Love you all. Peace, everybody.
Bye.